let me clarify section 121 subsection 3. I want you to ask my learned senior direct. The section 121 subsection 3 provided that the money standing to the credit of State House of Assembly and State Judiciary shall be drawn from which particular account? Is Consolidated Revenue Fund of the state. He did not say deduct at source. These are the issues. And he said there's no infringement. I wonder how there can be more infringement than this. He said deduct. Read the section for him. Deduct from the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the state. Now, Mr. President, by executive order, empowered Accountant General of the Federation to deduct from Consolidated Revenue Fund of the Federation. That's Federation account. These are two different things. And you're talking that, and you're saying there is no infringement. And which law empowered Mr. President to authorize Accountant General of the Federation to deduct money meant for state at source?
Let's respond to
what you're saying is this. If there is a budget implementation...
let him respond to you. Don't you want your response anymore?
You asked
Please go ahead.
As I said earlier, with the executive order, it authorizes the state to pass their annual budget that covers all the arms of government, executive, judiciary, and State House of Assembly. They pass it, maybe for the year. The judiciary will have 10 million. That of the House of Assembly will have 10 million. That is the budget from the state, passed by the state for all the two arms of government. Now, the federal government says, we are now watching to see that all the two arms of government get their money directly as passed by the budget. But if he finds out that at any point in time that there is non-compliance, they are not getting their money as passed by that budget, then the Attorney General now authorizes the Accountant General, because you will come to the monthly allocation to collect the money that belongs to your state. That this man, there is already a budget passed for State House of Assembly or Judiciary, but he did not give this money to them directly, then he withdraws that money and send to them. Are you following me? Because it is your money, you have already passed the mind you have already passed the budget.
The question he is asking is, does the federal government have a right to legislate on state governments?
What legislation are you talking about now? There is already a provision of the Constitution. So hello, sir. There is no legislation. There is already a legislation. There is a constitutional provision says this is what should apply.
Maybe the problem is not whether or not that is happening, is whether or not it is being complied with and who should enforce it.
Exactly. That I'm saying that somebody must enforce it. Somebody must ensure, and the president owes that duty, that the Constitution must be enforced as provided in the Constitution. There is nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, but he's part of what he also raises. Yes. Now, that section which you mentioned about giving the Accountant General to deduct those monies.
Yes.
I think at some point he made reference to section 162.
Yes.
Does the president have the power to
direct
you
guys are not following. You see, this is that there is already a budget passed by the state. There's no problem.
Granted,
the governor has already laid the budget and said this is what belongs to the judiciary, this is what belongs to the State House of Assembly and to the executive, and passed. And then you now watch whether there will be an implementation, because the governors do not implement it. So if you now fail to, the president owes onerous duty as the president of the country to ensure that there is a due compliance with the provision of the Constitution by saying, if you now fail to, if you now come to collect your allocation, then we will deduct that money that you have already passed as budget for those two arms of government, but which you have failed to implement, and we are going to give it to them directly. What is wrong with that?
Okay.
Is there anything wrong with that?
Mr. Anene, anything wrong with that?
Yeah, Chamberlain. You see, my learned senior misconstrued the law. The essence of federalism or presidential system of government we are practicing is not a father and son relationship. Neither is it a daughter and a mother relationship. That they must say, if you get money from Salah or from Christmas, this is where you are going to put your money. There is no provision like that. It is an aberration to a constitutional democracy. Now, what is running away from is the fact that budgetary provisions resides with the state governor. State governor makes a budgetary provision and says XYZ money shall be drawn from Consolidated Revenue Fund of the state. Now, federal government is watching like him, like a father and son relationship, and said, no, you must put this money to the judiciary. If you fail to put it to the judiciary, then we now go to Zenith Bank to pick money and pay them. And he said there is nothing wrong with that. And I asked him a question. What is the difference from Consolidated Fund of the state, Consolidated Revenue Fund of the state, from Consolidated Revenue Fund of the Federation? He has not answered it. And the another question that you should answer is this. Executive order is not a law. Executive order is just a rule, a directive to where he can direct. If you read section 5, subsection 1 of 1999 Constitution, Mr. President maintains the Constitution to the extent of the law passed by federal government, National Assembly, not the law passed by the state executive, not the law passed by the State House of Assembly. This is not what he's talking about. Now, you ask me whether is it the legality or the desirability of the law. Now, both of them are there. We are trying to decentralize power. We are trying to go to the federal system of government, stricto sensu. Now, it is not a unitary system of government. It's only in a unitary system of government that the center supervises the state. Under federalism, the center has no power to give directive or to monitor the state where they will put their fund to. Okay, look at the part of that executive order number 10. It provides that within 3 years, the XYZ capital project will be executed by the state for the judiciary. That is directive. That is abysmal. That is an anomaly. It is never tolerated anywhere in the world. Even in America, some executive order passed by President Obama was frustrated by the Congress. It never happened. Judiciary set aside most of them because those executive order must not run contrary to the
let him get
of the
his response to some of the issues you raised. Please go ahead.
Being historical. We know where we're coming from as a nation, and also we know where we're headed. And of course, when we know where we're coming from, we begin to correct some of the anomalies in the system that has kept us where we are. Nigeria has not been able to make progress. Nigerians have not been able to enjoy dividends of democracy because of things like this that has been happening over time, and we're allowing it, we're encouraging it. And we said we cannot continue as a nation. We must begin to make amends so that people can begin to enjoy what God has blessed this country with. Nigeria has so much. Yeah, now, we're not getting the dividends of democracy from the local government. We said it. Now, with the issue of state judiciary, the issue of a state house of assembly, we know what the houses of assembly, what they are to the governors. They go and bow in order to get money from them, and without being independent, they cannot be able to affect laws that will affect you and I. We were in a conference last year in Lagos here, MBA conference, where a judge openly told us, "You want us to be independent, but you know that we go cap in hand begging for money from the governors. How do you want us to give judgment against it?" A judge said that, and all of us were shocked.
But part of in getting that right,
yes,